Football, soccer, or something else? In this video, we will look at the origins of the term football, what it means to people in different parts of the world, and how it has an impact today. Welcome to the channel at Glen Duerr. I played 4 seasons of semi-professional of this, and now I'm a professor of international studies and political science. And in this channel, we look at the intersection of sports, international relations, and politics. Let's dig into some details about the 7 codes of football. Of the 7 codes, we'll start with the first and most popular, what a lot of people call soccer. And even though there's a wide debate over football or soccer, soccer is actually an English term. Having grown up in the United Kingdom, there are a lot of terms like money, a fiver or a tenner, that are given the additional for a £5 note or a £10 note. And likewise, rugger and soccer originated in the same way, because rugby football is a formal name, as is association football, and both rugger and soccer come from those respectively. Soccer also has very ancient roots, both in China, Greece, England, and Scotland, and there's wide debate over its creation, even though in England we can trace it back to mob football going back at least to 1170. We can also note from history that is information given by elites. Typically, the average lives of everyday people is not known, except for the fact when it's outlawed. Edward II in 1314, for example, outlawed mob football or soccer because of noise and evils. And Edward III, the king, outlawed it in 1349 because his archers, useful for the military, were playing mob football or soccer instead. And so this game is widely popular. It's the best known of the codes. The term soccer is actually an English term, which surprises many, and it's one of our 7. Code number 2 is rugby. And it's worth noting that there are 2 different types of rugby, rugby union and rugby league. The game was created in 1848 when William Webb Ellis formally picked up a soccer ball and started running with it. But the origins of both games come from mob football. In fact, Chaucer, the famous literary person, noted that he rolleth underfoot as doth a ball in the Canterbury Tales. Wycliffe, the famous preacher, noted a ball, something akin to football, in one early sermon. And even Shakespeare in King Lear talks about a base foot player. But rugby is certainly a different game. It's played by 15 men or 15 women, that is rugby union, and it is with this more oval ball. It has had a World Cup, much like soccer, and is widely popular in different parts of the world. Rugby league, an offshoot, is slightly different. It was professionalized earlier. There are less numbers of players on the field, and you get effectively 6 tackles to move down the field. Code number 3 is gridiron, or American football, and it is played widely in the United States, but it's gained some popularity elsewhere in the world. And the Super Bowl, the final, tends to be pretty popular as well. There are offshoots of the game, like arena football, which is an indoor version of American football, as well as Canadian football, which is kind of interesting because there's an extra player, 10 extra yards, and you're allowed to be at motion at the line of scrimmage. And so this is a popular game. It's the 3rd of 7 codes. Code number 4 is one that I've already mentioned. Rugby actually has 2 different codes, rugby union and then rugby league. And so this is one that can be divided a little bit depending on where you are in the world. Code number 5 is actually Gaelic football, which is used with a ball a lot like this and played in Ireland. Ireland is a pretty unique country and they like to be on their own and develop their own things. The most popular sport, for example, in the Republic of Ireland is GAA, that is the Gaelic Athletic Association, or hurling. But second is actually Gaelic football. That's kind of a mix between soccer, lacrosse, American football, rugby, and several others. And it's a very popular game in Ireland. Code number 6 is a bit like rugby, or played with a rugby type ball. That is Australian rules football. It's played on a cricket oval, and the scoring system is pretty different because the posts go all the way to the ground. The ball is also passed either by kicking it or by hitting it in this way. And so it is a little bit of an element of basketball as well as lacrosse within it as well. But it's very popular in Australia in particular. Some expats play it in different parts of the world, and there is a global tournament, but Australia is, as the name suggests, the location of Aussie rules football. The 7th and final code of football is actually a hybrid between these two, of Gaelic football and Aussie rules football, because when the Australians went on a world tour in 1967, especially to the UK, they encountered Gaelic football. These two are somewhat similar, so they created a hybrid version so Australia could play against Ireland. It's a unique game. It has some popularity, but in particular it's done so that the Aussie rules players can play against the Gaelic football players as well. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you found it interesting learning about the 7 codes of football. It's a difficult term to use, but now you have a bit more information.